Alright, hello everybody, I am back. It is another video. It's felt like it's been a while since I've done one of these. I've actually had this one in the back pocket for a while. I just couldn't really get around to do the voiceover. But here we are here, finally. Isn't everyone excited for the Austrian Grand Prix? I mean, it went really well in Canada, so... What can I say? I do like Austria. I scored my first podium on my 2021 career mode, I want to say, and 2022 at Austria, so I would say I have some confidence on this track when it comes to career modes. I don't actually think I got a podium in 2023. In my career mode, I didn't play it that much. I more played online in that year. But anyway, we are into qualifying, and my engine is already dead, so we're gonna have fun doing this. Nah, never mind, I'll just skip it out. Yep. So we are already leaving the garage for our first run in qualifying, and we are nodding at the Ferrari that just went past. We have some time remaining to do it. I don't know what time it is. But anyway, coming out the pit lane. Already got a real good grasp for the car. Never mind, no we do not. I think this race will be good. Of course, qualifying could sell that story instantly as we get the DRS open and start our lap. And coming down in turn 1, it's pretty clean. I'd take that any day. So green in the first sector with 3 temps up on Jack Doohan. A little bit of wheel spin coming out of turn 3, open up the DRS again, and it is absolutely fine as we come to the end of the second sector. It's a second green, and this time 6 temps up on what is now Albon. So we're looking quite competitive compared to where we were last race in Canada. Across the line, it's 8th, and only a 10th and a half off the top 6, beginning with Lewis Hamilton. And now on our second run, a minute 40 remaining. Of course, refuel, change tyres, and we are straight back out. Gonna let some drivers by just so we get some clean air. Hello Piastri. And who is it behind us? It is a Red Bull, and there's a Haas. There goes Ocon. We decide the Red Bull's not going to overtake us because he's slow. Ocon apparently is also going to be behind us, so we might have a little bit of traffic behind us, but it's fine. As both Ocon and whoever the Red Bull is decides, yeah, we're still going to do our lap despite being behind this tractor. At the end of sector 1, it's another green, and we're about 2 temps up as we come around the apex of turn 3. 10th and a half, 2 temps. We actually improved that to 5 temps by the end of the second sector. Jesus, 4, 5 temps. We are looking really good. Currently placed P13 because most people have done their laps. But we seem to pretty up here. 5 temps up. Count down a little bit for the penultimate corner. Gets it back up for the final corner though. We're going to be improving by 4 temps, and that sets us from P13 all the way to P6. So we do actually break that P6. The top 6 that we were talking about on our first run. That was being guarded by Lewis Hamilton. We do actually break through it. So pretty impressive on my point. Yeah. Aren't loading screens just so fun? I don't know why they're so long. So anyone? Anyway, how's everyone been? Oh, never mind. Hello, Crofty. How have you been, mate?
From the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today, then, with 7 rights and just 3 left.
I've been though. Isn't that pretty cool? Pretty much where it says speed trap, I sat there. No, not there. A little bit more close to turn 3. I can see where I sat anyway. Sorry, Crofty.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton. And Verschoor.
It's quick calling him Sir, he's finished. Also, we were there. Stroll's P7. What? Alonso's 11th, Tsunoda's 12th. Piastri's 14th. That was doing out qualified Piastri. That was Antonelli 18th. Oh my god. How are you 2.5 seconds slower than pole? Round Austria. What? I don't understand how you can be that slow. I swear, was it 2021 or 2022 where everyone was within a second of each other first to last? And that's now what we're dealing with, 2.5 second gap in a 1 minute 6 average lap time. Of course, sorting out the fuel, checking our setup, puts a little bit more on the front downforce. And now onto the formation lap. So what is everyone thinking for tyres? Mostly hards, but I'm on the mediums, Sainz on the mediums, Alonso's on the mediums, Crawford and Albon also on the mediums. So both Williams, both are me and my teammate, and then Alonso. Okay. Let's hope us and Williams and Alonso do something. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest, I just got tripped up so fucking hard. So it turns out I left my mouse on the screen when I was doing this recording. And I genuinely thought it was my mouse, and I was like, oh quick, I've got to take that off. That's why you just briefly saw two mouses. Not my prettiest moment. I'm sure that mouse will disappear soon. Anyway, 5 red lights. And we are racing at the Red Bull ring, and it's an alright start. Can we already jump Lewis Hamilton off the start into the braking zone? He's gonna push us more to the inside than we sort of want to go, and he's gonna get ahead. Also ahead is Carlos Sainz straight away, also on the medium tyres, trying to challenge Lewis Hamilton. Now the mouse disappears off the screen. Now coming down towards turn 3 with 3 abreast, us, Sainz and Hamilton. We're on the inside, we wheel lock with Hamilton, Stroll gets through, and we only gain 1 place off that, but Stroll has gained 3. Hamilton, meanwhile, has lost 3 places. Now coming down towards turn 4, that top 4 already has such good gap because of what's happened between us, Hamilton, Stroll and Sainz down at turn 3. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is just sort of locked together. Alonso's managed to get past Lewis Hamilton somewhere around turn 4. Sure, that'll be from our little incident as well, which we did get a warning for. At the end of lap 1, we're chasing down Lance Stroll onto lap 2. Wouldn't have DRS yet. Stroll's going to push to the outside. We're going to go round the outside. Going to get DRS for it as well, and already back up into P5. Primo position. And at the end of lap 3, Leclerc's on the fastest lap. He's currently 3rd. We're chasing down Russell at the moment, and we get the fastest lap with 2 purple sectors, a 1:08.843. Pretty beautiful lap, if I do say so myself. Coming back up the hill. Just jump to lap 5, why don't you? Okay. We're already Russell's in DRS, and we're chasing George Russell, and the whole top 4 sort of battling for something there. We have a look down the inside and realise we brake too late, and we have to turn out of it. But now Lando Norris is leading the race from Max Verstappen, from Leclerc and from Russell, and we're right behind it because everyone's quarrelling up here. And now Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc going wheel to wheel the whole way around turn 4. On to the next lap, coming up the hill again. Norris has managed to run away with it a little bit, but Leclerc and Verstappen side by side. Us and Russell are side by side as we come round turn 3. And Verstappen gets ahead of Leclerc, and Russell gets back ahead of us around the outside of turn 3. Coming down towards turn 4, still that Ferrari and Red Bull wheel to wheel. And as for us, we're going to make another dive on George Russell. Mediums against the hards. Mercedes versus the Guac. Who's going to win though? This time it's going to be the quintessentially British man of George Russell, but we're not going to give up. Lap 7. Here we go again. We've drained the whole battery. We're going to go round the outside at turn 1, and we do get ahead of George Russell finally. We're going to have DRS as well, just because we were slightly behind Russell before we made that dive around the outside. And we're going to try and keep on the back of Leclerc as if he's towing us. And never mind to that, we're actually going to send it down the inside of Ferrari at turn 3. Sure, we've seen that one before. This time it worked out a lot better though, but Leclerc is going to work his way back. Verstappen's managed to run away now and is trying to look to catch back up to Lando Norris. But we're going to keep it on the inside of Charles Leclerc. Around turn 4, he has the better horsepower, and he does get out ahead of us. Now coming across the line for, I was going to say turn 8 then, lap 8. We're going to move to the right hand side of Charles Leclerc. It's a much easier move. And on that occasion, we do get up and into the podium places. Such a fighting spirit, which no one would have predicted considering the last race at Canada, where we were struggling to even match the Alpines and Saubers. And now we're battling Charles Leclerc for a podium, just a lap race later. Unfortunately, he does get back ahead though, as we come round turn 3. Managed to separate the gap between everyone else's top 5 is massively separated. From Carlos Sainz and everyone else behind, and we're going to have another attempt to get him past Charles Leclerc, and it doesn't work out yet again. Will we look down the inside? No, we won't. It is a pretty risky corner to go wheel to wheel through. Not saying no one's done it. Now from the outside shot on lap 9 with DRS, we're wheel to wheel with Charles Leclerc. George Russell right behind us. Charles Leclerc the only one without DRS out the 3 of us, and we're going to disappear and then reappear at the top of the crest of turn 3. We get ahead. George Russell on the inside. He gets ahead of Charles Leclerc. No, he doesn't. No. So Charles Leclerc back up into P4. But we, more importantly, are into the podium places. And now we're at the eyes looking shot just 4 laps later. We do decide now is the time to make our exit from this top 5 and work our way into the pit lane. So between a lap 11 and lap 12 we decide these mediums are no more. And we move on to what I believe is the hards. We've already into 5th, now into 6th. Is it the hards? No, it's more mediums. 7th, Alonso's also pitted, but we are going to get 8th because of Piastri and Stroll and Hulkenberg. So that should be only P10, that's decent. If coming out the pit lane we're still only in the points, that's pretty decent. That is some fighting speed that we have, both in and out of the pit lane. And didn't even take us a lap. We're going to find our way down the inside of Lance Stroll again, and we do get past him very easily, but quite a risky corner, so can't put our hands up to that overtake. Pretty decent. As now we jump 3 drivers who've decided, you know what, it's our time to take the exit, so we get back up into P6. And now we're right behind Oscar Piastri. I don't believe he's pitted yet, as we're on lap 14 of 36, so his tyre is going to be pretty shot. These mediums still pretty new. We're going to tap his backside, just tell him that we're there. Now he's going to have to look for us in the mirror. We're going to block him off apparently, okay. And now he's going to try to use his elbows all he can. There's nothing to do. DRS against no DRS. And we get past Oscar Piastri round turn 3. Just a replay of it here. Going back up the hill, and yeah, quite an easy move. Pretty easy if I say so to myself. Unfortunately, 9 laps later we've decided, now these mediums are done. They're actually pitting sooner than what we're suggested to do. Because I have a sneaky tactic going on here. Because if you look on the track map, you'll see a Red Bull going slowly because there's a Red Bull coming into the pits, and I went into the gravel so I was actually watching it myself. Red Bull's coming to the pits. This is when we want to pit. I don't know if the game has it in our code that because we made the message, they've also come in. Also, George Russell's come in as well. Imagine if George Russell holds up Verstappen, that would be pretty funny. He has not on this occasion. We could hold up George Russell though. That would also be pretty funny. Oh my god, I think we have. As we come in for our second stop. Moving on to the hard tyres. There goes George Russell. And we move back out into P7, only behind Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc and Norris. Norris, speaking of which, has lapped a driver. Whoever that V-carb is in last. Lap 21, we're about 3.5 seconds behind Russell. Double that gap, and that's our gap to the driver behind, so we're looking pretty cosy right now. As we see Lando Norris pit, as Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen go wheel to wheel, so by the track map they're going 3 wide, but of course one of them's in the pit lane. And now Charles Leclerc takes lead from Verstappen. Norris dropped down into P3. McLaren not doing the best on their strategies here, but now at turn 4, I'm still going to be watching this track map. I don't think there's anything important going on with us. Verstappen's back up into P1 from Leclerc from Norris. And now, as we're catching up to Lewis Hamilton, there goes Lando Norris past Charles Leclerc. So once Norris gets back ahead of Verstappen, it's going to be the top 3 that we've already seen. But unfortunately first, we're going to have to watch us get back up into P5, as Hamilton blocks the inside, pretty much hugging the pit wall. And we're just going to go around the outside. You block one way, I'm just going to go the other way. On this occasion it works. We have DRS, but Hamilton is the faster driver in the faster car. But he can't really hold a threat to us at the moment. Going around turn 3, we are pretty protected, despite how close he got, but this time he will have DRS himself. Does he think to catch up? No, he doesn't. Barely seeing a proximity arrow behind us. There's something happened to Hamilton. He's quite a few places behind us now, but Charles Leclerc comes into the pits. So that could be another place for us. That would be P4 for us if we do get out ahead of him, which I do believe we will. And there it is. Ahead of Charles Leclerc, Russell, Norris and Verstappen. I see all 3 of them on the map, although I don't know which Red Bull's which, because there was 2 Red Bulls right next to the McLaren. Oh wait, it's the Red Bull ahead, because Verstappen's leading the race. Snowder's behind Norris. We meet our first blue flags, Isaac Hadjar. A little bit dodgy on letting us past, but we do get past with ease and without much time loss. We also get some DRS off him as well, which is pretty nice. Thank you very much, my little Frenchman. I'll be sure to repay you soon as we go for another fast lap. It's a 107.5. Pretty decent, as we're still catching up to George Russell. We'll go a little bit wide at turn 1 though, no issue though, no spins, no damage. And the gap is now 1.8 seconds to George Russell. Can we sink that time down going around turn 1? So 1.6 on to the next lap. We're within DRS, but we don't get it on the main straight. We're going to have to wait until turn 3 to have a look at either side of that Mercedes. So for now we're just sitting, reading the rear wing. Try saying that 10 times real fast. Anyway, coming up towards turn 3, we can now see the crowd strike on the rear wing. But unfortunately we can't see anything on the side of the car. Now we can, and there goes the Mercedes. We have DRS, the Mercedes doesn't. We have ERS, no clue what the Mercedes has electricity wise, but on this occasion, we get ahead. What can I say? Just a replay of that overtake to break into podium places. Such a huge achievement for us. And there it is. And that beautiful black, blue and red car getting ahead of the black, silver and light blue Mercedes. George Russell does think he can go back down the inside of us though, which is pretty upsetting. On that occasion he actually does do it though, so fair enough. No he doesn't. Okay, never mind. I lied. I'm sorry, chap. Oh no, never mind. He does get ahead of us. Never mind. I take back my apology. Fuck you, chap. And we get back ahead anyway at turn 1. I take back my take back of the apology. As now we're overtaking blue flagged Sonoda and Liam Lawson, who got very close to us there. Now Ollie Behrman's the next one to chase. I'm gonna guess we got ahead of him. Now we have Albon. Is that Albon? I swear we were like fighting with Albon at the start of the race for P6. Well, who knows? We already overtook him. Counting down lap by lap for this podium. There goes Max Verstappen round the final corners of the final lap of the Red Bull Ring, and the Red Bull car is going to win in Austria. It's Max Verstappen, Lando Norris P2, barely a couple of seconds behind him, but this is the man that the crowd is standing up for after struggling in Canada. He's coming around the final corner and he gets his podium. Richard Verschoor, me by the way, Richard Verschoor, gets a podium in Formula 1. Jack Crawford did it in his third race. We do it in our 10th. But that is brilliant. Driver of the day for a fucking teammate. How? Excuse me? First podium of my career? Hello? No? Okay. Crofty, bro, I don't think we care about Verstappen winning at Austria. He's done it thousands of times. We're not even going to be spoken about? I guess not. So we're really going to act like there's not a second Dutchman on this podium that shouldn't be there? Yo, Lando, can you fuck off and get Nick de Vries though? The Dutch lockout. What can I say? Good race. Pretty exciting, as now we get a little bit of attention from the race winner. Mauled him with some champagne. That is just brilliant. We're the only driver to put in a 107, and we dominated with that fastest lap. P3 as well. If there was like 5 more laps, I would have even thought about saying we could go for the win here. Fortunately, we couldn't on this occasion. Jack Crawford barely misses out on points as well, our teammate. In the standings, though, we move up to P10. Jack Crawford in P13. I've definitely changed. Don't know if Jack Crawford's changed. Meanwhile, in the constructors, we are P6. I believe that's a change. I might be wrong, though. Yeah, I would be wrong. I only scored 15 points. There was a gap bigger than 15 between us two. Okay. Let's go. I get to listen to my music again. Okay, so now we are going to Great Britain. We're driving as Jack Crawford this time. I think it's Great Britain at least. What comes after Austria? It is Great Britain, isn't it? Who knows? Goodbye.